The title of this story is Slashing at the Nets, and it appeared a couple of months ago in Our Stories journal. She'd left after 14 years. That morning he caught Rouget, and after he cleaned them, she put them on the grill. The delicate bones were now piled on the plates, and his knife rested upon the discarded napkins. They were finishing off a bottle of rosé, half dozing side by side in their weathered chairs on a small balcony. The heat was blistering, unseasonable, bleaching the sky of color. Cats and dogs lay prostrate on the cobblestone streets, stunned into submission, their legs splayed in unnatural positions. Suddenly, a loud clattering roused them. A gray dappled horse without livery or rider burst down the narrow street, veered to the left, skidded, and fell against a stone wall. A raw scream arose from its throat. The horse tried to raise itself, but couldn't. Bone protruded from its front legs. It lifted its head to the sky, long yellow teeth jutting from curled lips. Its panicked, high-pitched whinnies pierced the comatose day. Again and again the animal tried to get up, thrashed, and fell down on itself. "Do something," she yelled. "Put it out of its misery." "How? I don't have a gun." She ran out of the house. He watched her approach the horse, her soft, gentle words dropping to a low cooing sound. The horse calmed. She placed its head in her lap, laid her hand over its wild eye, put her mouth to its ear, and slit its throat. The body of the animal shuddered. She pressed her cheek to its neck as its blood emptied into the street. She rose slowly, her black hair matted against her bloodied face, her dress now common. Head down, she walked back into the house, brushing past him. "How? That's how," she said, and slumped in a corner of the room, tears blotching her cheeks. He stood, statue-like, staring. She waved the knife at him. "Did someone use this to cut off your balls? What's happened to you? Those boys in the orchard, the thief in the market. You ran. Now this. I can't live with your nightmares." The knife she had used on the horse was his, given to him by his father when he was 10, the year he started helping on the boat. At that time, the horn handle was pale yellow and striated. The blade was thick and blue-black. Now the grip was dark and smooth, and the blade had been honed silver. It was the same knife he'd used to defend her years earlier. It was on a nearby island. They'd met in a bar. He'd noticed her standing in the midst of a group of girls. Blue eyes, the genetic gift of a visiting Englishman 3 generations earlier. That's what set her apart. And when the band started, her lithe body swayed as if the music were coming from within, marrow deep. Later that week, they'd walked hand in hand along a dark path at the edge of town. And suddenly, 4 men came out of the trees, surrounded them, taunted them. Island slut, mainland bastard. Knives were drawn. He replied with ferocity and daring. The 4 fled, but not before leaving a long slash on his arm. She came back to the mainland with him, and for all the years they were together, she massaged ointments into his scar every night, as if she were shining a medal. Then, last year, fishing alone during a storm, on a day others had refused to leave port, his right arm became tangled in the nets. He was pulled overboard and dragged to the bottom. He remembered maniacally slashing at the nets with his knife. He remembered the pain in his chest, a vice crushing his spine and sternum, his heart thumping to near bursting. Gulping. He remembered a sudden calm. He didn't remember how he got to shore. Only that at dusk he lay there, shaking and shivering, his boat 100 meters away. He relived those moments underwater each time thunderheads appeared in the sky. After she'd left, he went down to the shore, took a bottle with him, for company, or who the hell knows what. Hours later, he fell into a deep sleep. Awaking, a salty mist coated his face, even his eyelids. Circling gulls brayed overhead. He settled himself against an overturned rowboat and noticed a crab working its way out of the water. It skittered up the sand, only to be pulled back by the surf. Sidling up again, the crab finally succeeded in outrunning the chasing waves. It paused, exhausted by its struggle, only to be snatched up by a goddamn gull. He yanked himself up from the sand and hurled his knife. Gull, crab, and knife plummeted to the rocks, creating a spray of steel shards, shell fragments, and white feathers. He hated the sea.